farming operation is basically a primarily broadacre, which is mostly cropping and some sheep. We run a merino flock of sheep, which are perhaps half, 2/3 merinos and the rest are crossbreds. But our main focus is on broadacre cropping, which would be cereals, wheat, a bit of barley, beans, and quite a bit of canola. Everybody's got resistant weeds on their farm. If they haven't looked very closely, and ryegrass is our biggest problem. It's probably our only real problem here. We've got no radish or any of those broadleaf weeds. So ryegrass is one we've got to try and control, and as you know, the FOPs and DIMs and all the old chemicals are not working that well. Latest one is Secura on wheat, and that's working very well. And we do use Select on our canola and beans, and that's working sort of okay. Funny enough, the last 2 years have been dry finishes, and we haven't had any ryegrass pressure at harvest time as much as what we have had. But all the way through, I've thought, well, one day this is all going to turn pear-shaped. We've got to do something differently, and I've looked at and noticed chaff carts for a long time, and thought about them, seen them at field days, talked about them, all too expensive, all too hard. And then 2 years ago, we were aware that there was a chaff cart. The chap had one only about 10 k's from here that he wasn't using. He bought on a second-hand header and didn't want it. So that made me think about it. So I went and got that off him last year, and then we adapted it to fit on the back of our header. Well, we didn't get those big early summer rains last year, so our crops were pretty average, well below average. A couple of tonnes a hectare for most of our cereals, canola up to a tonne if you're lucky, and beans much the same. So I thought, well, we won't have a big harvest, we run off our feet, so we got more time to get the teething troubles out of it. The other big thing is feed for sheep, because you catch all the grain out of the back of the header, and even though you think your headers are pretty good, they still spit out some grain, and surprising how much you catch in a chaff cart. Plus the ryegrass seeds is what we're really after, so we dump them at each end of our paddock or across the row in the middle, and we've had, we put sheep on them, and they've just foraged on them for probably 4 or 5 weeks with 300 sheep and perhaps a 50-hectare paddock, and done very well on it. No, we haven't really noticed it yet. I think it's probably a bit early to see what's done, and I think it'll take a couple of years to, I don't say we had a huge problem, but there's a problem looming there, so we're going to give it a bill and see if we can eliminate it really. One chap who I spoke to in Western Australia said just run over it with get your old cultivator out, or even his air seed would do it if you had it available, and just run the heaps roll, put it across the row along the fence line in a row, end of the paddock or in the middle somewhere, so you just drive across with the thing out of the ground and level them all out flat. We've probably sown 4 or 5 paddocks now straight through, and any one of wheat chaff heaps we didn't level off did drag a little bit, and that was only my problem because I didn't sort of get back to level them off. But most of the ones we levelled off have just been no problem at all, just sown through them, and if they are a problem and come up with rubbish, we'll just earmark them to be cut for hay at the end of the year. We'll just mow the last 20 metres of paddock off each end and bale it up, and all the ryegrass will go out in the sandy country for the sheep to eat.